Something is happening quietly in 2025, and most people aren't even noticing it. The U.S., long considered a melting pot, is starting to turn down the heat, and it's not just a rumor. Certain countries are finding their citizens increasingly unwelcome, with new policies, stricter visa reviews, and silent deportations shaping the new reality. While headlines focus elsewhere, behind the scenes, the landscape is shifting dramatically. So today, let's dive into the 10 countries whose citizens are being quietly shown the door in America. You might be surprised who made the list. Number 10, Nigeria. Nigeria, the giant of Africa, boasts the continent's largest economy and a vibrant, fast-growing population. From the bustling streets of Lagos to the artistic hubs of Abuja, Nigerians have long played a crucial role in America's cultural and entrepreneurial tapestry. Yet in 2025, things are getting complicated, and not in a good way. According to a 2024 report from the Migration Policy Institute, Nigerian visa overstay rates are among the highest for African nations, triggering tighter scrutiny by U.S. immigration officials. And that's not all. The Department of Homeland Security flagged Nigeria for increased public safety concerns in its latest risk assessment. As a result, visa denials for Nigerian nationals have surged by 17% compared to 2023. The consequences are real. According to The Guardian, Nigeria, students, workers, and even longtime residents are reporting higher rates of visa revocations and deportation orders. While official numbers are hard to come by, anecdotal evidence paints a worrying picture. More Nigerians are being quietly told to pack their bags than at any point in the last decade. Meanwhile, data from the U.S. State Department shows that visa refusal rates for Nigerian applicants increased to 57% in 2024, the highest since 2016. This steady rise in rejections underscores a silent but strong shift in U.S. policy, marking a tough road ahead for Nigerians hoping to build a life in America. Hold up, before we uncover the next country, hit that subscribe button, like, and hit the notification bell. It's your ticket to the stories no one else dares to tell. The more you support, the more truths we expose. Number 9, India. India, often celebrated as the world's largest democracy and a rising economic powerhouse, has deep historical ties with the United States. From tech giants in Silicon Valley to academic circles in Ivy League universities, Indian immigrants have left an indelible mark. However, recent immigration shifts in 2025 reveal that not everything is as rosy as it seems. According to the U.S. Department of State, visa refusals for Indian nationals rose by 14% compared to 2024, particularly for H-1B extensions and student visas. The American Immigration Council reported that increased scrutiny over work visa compliance has led to higher rejection rates and deportations. Concerns about document fraud and overstays have quietly placed India under greater examination. It doesn't stop there. Reports from Bloomberg noted that the U.S. tightened travel documentation checks for Indians arriving on business and visitor visas, with secondary screenings nearly doubling in 2025. Interviews at consulates have grown longer and more intensive, making it clear that India is no longer getting a free pass. For families separated by delayed visas or denied entries, the consequences are painful. According to Indian Express USA, there has been a 22% rise in appeals against U.S. immigration denials filed by Indian families in 2025 alone, marking a sharp increase in unresolved cases. Meanwhile, a Pew Research Center study found that trust between the U.S. and Indian immigrant communities has slightly declined, with 31% of surveyed Indian nationals expressing concerns about their long-term future in America. This growing unease suggests a chilling shift in the historic warmth between the two countries. Number 8, China. China, with its sprawling megacities, booming economy, and rich cultural history, has long maintained a complex relationship with the United States. In past decades, Chinese students and entrepreneurs helped fuel America's innovation and research boom. But geopolitical tensions and national security concerns have flipped the narrative in 2025. According to the U.S. State Department, visa issuances for Chinese nationals dropped by 28% compared to 2023, the sharpest decline among all Asian countries. Heightened concerns about intellectual property theft, espionage risks, and political tensions have led to tighter entry controls. Students, scientists, and tech professionals from China are facing unprecedented levels of vetting. Reuters reported that in 2025, several hundred Chinese researchers had their visas revoked or denied renewal based on national security grounds. The FBI's Counterintelligence Division has also launched new initiatives targeting potential economic espionage from Chinese nationals, adding to the growing wall of suspicion. For ordinary citizens, the results are devastating. According to South China Morning Post, families with long-standing ties to the U.S. are now grappling with sudden rejections, canceled studies, and abrupt visa terminations, leaving dreams shattered overnight. Adding to the concerns, an April 2025 Pew Research study showed that 42% of Chinese nationals who had planned long-term stays in the U.S. are reconsidering their future plans. With fear and uncertainty rising, many now feel that the American dream is slipping further out of reach. Number 7. Russia. Russia, a vast land of storied history, rich culture, and icy resilience, has long held a complicated place in global affairs. From the ornate cathedrals of Moscow to the windswept tundras of Siberia, Russian immigrants have carved out successful communities across the United States for decades. However, in 2025, the frost between Russia and America has grown much colder. Following heightened political tensions and espionage fears, visa issuance for Russian nationals fell by 36% from 2023, according to the U.S. State Department. The Treasury Department also added several new Russian institutions and individuals to the sanctions list, complicating financial transactions for Russian immigrants and visitors. Politico reported that an increasing number of Russian students and researchers are facing visa denials or non-renewals, particularly in STEM fields, citing national security concerns. Meanwhile, Russian-American businesses are reporting more regulatory inspections and difficulties securing permits, quietly signaling that opportunities are drying up. Adding to the strain, Bloomberg found that 29% of Russian nationals in the U.S. feel unsafe or unwelcome, compared to just 11% 5 years ago. The quiet exclusion of Russians from American institutions is now less of a rumor and more of a growing reality. Number 6. Haiti. Haiti, the first independent Black republic, has a legacy of resilience, vibrant art, and fierce pride that radiates far beyond its Caribbean shores. Over the decades, Haitian communities have flourished in U.S. cities like Miami, Boston, and New York. Yet, in 2025, Haitian nationals are finding the doors to America closing faster than ever before. According to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, temporary protected status, TPS, renewals for Haitians have been curtailed sharply, with approval rates dropping by 21% since 2024. This shift reflects growing political pressure to tighten immigration controls and reduce the number of humanitarian exceptions. The Washington Post reported that in early 2025, deportations to Haiti increased by 19%, despite widespread warnings about deteriorating conditions on the ground. Advocacy groups have criticized the administration for sending people back to a country facing rampant gang violence and political instability. On top of that, Pew Research Center revealed that 37% of Haitian immigrants in the U.S. now fear deportation, compared to 22% in 2023, creating an atmosphere of stress and uncertainty within diaspora communities. Meanwhile, Human Rights Watch stated that mass deportations and limited visa access have severed many Haitian families, with reunification cases facing years-long delays. The dream of safety and prosperity in the U.S. is slipping further away for many Haitians in 2025. Number 5. Guatemala. Guatemala, a country known for its volcanic landscapes, Mayan heritage, and colorful markets, has a deep-rooted connection with the United States. Thousands of Guatemalans have built lives in America, contributing to industries from agriculture to construction. However, 2025 has brought a noticeable change in how the U.S. is handling Guatemalan immigration. According to the Department of Homeland Security, deportations of Guatemalan nationals rose by 24% in the first half of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024. Increased border security measures and stricter asylum adjudications have played a major role in reversing the leniency once shown to Guatemalan migrants. Additionally, temporary visa approvals have declined by 19%, signaling tougher restrictions across the board. NBC News reported that many Guatemalan asylum seekers are now facing expedited removal processes, allowing for faster deportations without full court hearings. This practice has drawn criticism from human rights organizations who warn that many legitimate claims are being dismissed without fair evaluation. For families, the consequences are heartbreaking. Pew Research Center indicated that 41% of Guatemalan immigrants in the U.S. now fear deportation, with separated family cases rising by nearly 15% in 2025 alone.
Number 4. El Salvador.
El Salvador, the smallest yet one of the most densely populated countries in Central America, has a proud culture, strong communities, and a long history of migration to the U.S. Salvadorans have contributed enormously to American society, especially in cities like Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. But in 2025, Salvadoran nationals are facing escalating hurdles. According to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, there was a 20% uptick in deportations of Salvadoran nationals from the U.S. in early 2025. Meanwhile, new restrictions on temporary protected status, TPS applications, have made it harder for Salvadorans to remain in the country legally, creating fear and instability among many families. The Los Angeles Times reported that many Salvadoran immigrants are now being targeted for minor legal infractions that previously would not have triggered removal proceedings. This zero-tolerance shift has increased detentions and accelerated deportations, especially for young men. Asylum approval rates for Salvadorans have also dropped significantly. A report from Human Rights First found that approval rates fell to just 18% in early 2025, down from 29% 2 years earlier, highlighting the tightening grip of immigration policies. Adding to the tension, an April 2025 Pew Research Center study showed that 35% of Salvadoran immigrants surveyed felt extremely unsafe about their future in the United States, the highest percentage recorded in over a decade.
Number 3. Honduras.
Honduras, a land of rugged mountains, lush rainforests, and a proud cultural heritage, has long seen its people seeking better opportunities in the United States. Honduran immigrants have contributed to American communities in countless ways, from essential labor to vibrant cultural traditions. However, in 2025, the welcome mat is being pulled back more than ever before. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, deportations of Honduran nationals increased by 26% in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024. Changes in asylum policies and an increase in safe third country designations have made it far harder for Hondurans to gain legal entry or stay in the United States. This shift reflects a broader crackdown on Central American migration overall. The New York Times reported that immigration judges are under new quotas and pressure to process Honduran asylum claims more swiftly, often resulting in denials. Asylum grant rates for Honduran applicants plummeted to 17% in 2025, a dramatic fall from previous years. For everyday families, the impact is devastating. Pew Research Center data showed that 39% of Honduran immigrants in the U.S. now fear deportation, and nearly 18% have had a family member detained or deported within the past year.
Number 2. Syria.
Syria, a nation with a rich history dating back millennia, has endured unimaginable hardships in the past decade. Despite producing some of the world's brightest scholars, doctors, and entrepreneurs, Syrian nationals are facing an increasingly tough road in 2025 when it comes to staying in the U.S. After years of civil war and displacement, many Syrians sought refuge in America, but the door is slowly closing. According to the U.S. State Department, new refugee admissions for Syrians fell by 42% in 2025 compared to the year prior, the largest drop among Middle Eastern countries. Stricter vetting processes and growing political resistance to refugee resettlement have dramatically reduced pathways for Syrians seeking safety. Al Jazeera reported that even Syrians with pending asylum cases are seeing extended delays or outright rejections, with asylum grant rates slipping below 15% this year. Humanitarian parole requests have also seen significant declines, making it harder for family reunification efforts to succeed. For Syrian families already living in America, the anxiety is palpable. A study by the Migration Policy Institute revealed that 48% of Syrians in the U.S. now feel their legal status is precarious or at risk, up from just 25% 3 years ago.
Number 1, Venezuela.
Venezuela, once one of the richest countries in Latin America thanks to its oil reserves, has become synonymous with economic collapse, political unrest, and humanitarian crises. Venezuelans fleeing instability have sought refuge in the United States in large numbers over the past decade. But in 2025, the U.S. is quietly tightening the screws on Venezuelan immigration like never before. According to the Department of Homeland Security, deportations of Venezuelan nationals rose by 31% in the first half of 2025, a stunning reversal from prior years when protections like temporary protected status (TPS) were more common. Visa applications and renewals for Venezuelans have also seen a steep decline, with approval rates falling by nearly 22% compared to 2024. Bloomberg reported that even Venezuelans who arrived legally under humanitarian programs are facing increased scrutiny and risk of removal. Immigration attorneys have noted a rise in cases where minor paperwork errors or lapses in status are leading to deportation proceedings. The consequences are severe for families who came seeking safety and stability. Pew Research Center data shows that 44% of Venezuelan immigrants in the U.S. now fear deportation, while advocacy groups warn that many face the prospect of returning to a country grappling with hyperinflation, food shortages, and violence. Meanwhile, Human Rights Watch noted in early 2025 that the deteriorating situation in Venezuela has not slowed, making America's new tough stance all the more controversial. For thousands of Venezuelans who once saw the U.S. as a beacon of hope, the future now looks frighteningly uncertain. While the headlines might not scream it, 2025 marks a quiet but powerful shift in America's immigration story. From Venezuela to Syria, from China to Guatemala, thousands are finding the American dream slipping further from reach. Policies are tightening, doors are closing, and for many, the promise of a new beginning is turning into a race against time. What about the 10 U.S. states that are making it even harder for immigrants to stay? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore our channel for more eye-opening stories from around the globe. Thank you for watching.